Salakia. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the brethren, the Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth with 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson, and he maketh the time short, right? Speaking on just the times that we're in right now, and how fast things are actually coming along. It may seem as if day by day things may be going kind of slow, right? But when you're really in the truth and you're in the spirit, and you kind of see prophecies happening and everything like that, you see that the days are speeding up. You see that the time that we have is not the same time that we had years ago, where we had time to do certain things. It felt like we had a full day or a full day to do things, whereas now it seems like we you get a full 24 hours, but it just goes by so fast. And it's going by fast like that because of prophecy. The Lord is preparing this place for judgment, and the Lord is preparing his elect for salvation, right? So, let's go ahead and get into the scriptures here that talks about it. So this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15. Right, and it says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return Neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on a Sabbath." Right? So this time, applied back then in 70 AD, but it also applies in this time as well too, because during Jacob's trouble, we're going to be experiencing these things, right? It'll be somewhat of a burden to have a small child, and you're literally going to be a pilgrim on the earth, and you're going to have to go from place to place, from one dwelling place to another dwelling place, fleeing persecution. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a burden in those days, right? But of course, if you're a part of the elect, and you have the covering of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you'll be all right in those days. And if the Lord decides to do the same for your children, then your children will be all right. But fleeing persecution with a young child will be hard. And though back in those days, 70 AD, and these times as well. Right, verse 21, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be." Right, and I believe in Daniel 12:1 says the same thing. Yeah, and it says, "And at that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." Right, so this is what it is going on here. Let's go back. Verse 22, and it says, verse 22 in Slakia, verse 22 in Matthew chapter 24, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? So, when Jacob's trouble pops off, when, tribulation really starts to ramp up in the world, but especially here in Babylon the Great, the Lord is going to continue to shorten the days for the sake of the elect, right? Because this devil is going to come down with great wrath and, attempt to destroy everybody, right? His way is, well, if I'm going down, you going down with me. But, according to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, the elect are going to be delivered out of this tribulation, right? And ultimately Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, but the elect will be fine in those days, right? So this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. Starting at verse 1, it says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Heavenly Father, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, right? Because, being in this truth, having the understanding, and, being of those who are called by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, Lord willing, we be chosen. You're going to go through trials and tribulations, more so than the average person. You know what I'm saying? And then being spiritually heightened, you know what I'm saying? Having that heightened spiritual awareness. A lot of things that people don't notice on the day-to-day, you're going to notice in the spirit, right? So that's another thing as well, right? So verse 5, it says, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself, right? So we're going to be, in those days, we're going to be chastised. We're going to have to be proven, right? We're going to have to be proven to be faithful, proven to be true servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. And, that comes through suffering, that comes through tribulation, that comes through hard times, but at the end of those hard times is what? The kingdom. At the end of those hard times is salvation. At the end of those hard times is rulership, right? And verse 6, it says, this gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and the Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. Right? So Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, this is what it's about. This is about the elect. You know what I'm saying? This is about the elect nation of Israel, those of the elect. And, the Lord has care for his people, and those who he has chosen from the foundation of the earth. I don't know what's going on with me today and these words, but anyway, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah has care for those who he has chosen from the foundation of the earth, right? Who was with Yahweh Shah creating the worlds and the foundations of the universe and what we see here today, right? And we just see a glimpse of it in this planet, like a really, really small glimpse in this planet and on the earth. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to that, we're going to have dominion over the nations, the planet, as well as other planets. We're going to have dominion over the entire universe. You know what I'm saying? So that's a glorious thing. That's a great thing. But, in the meantime, before it happens, we have to earn it. And the way that we earn it You know what I'm saying? We got to go through that fire. We got to go through that fire of tribulation to prove ourselves to the Heavenly Father that, hey, this is something that we deserve. This is something that, we should receive. Let me go to Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36. It says, "Have mercy upon us, O Lord, Yahweh of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee." Right? And the Lord is going to do that in these end times, right? Just like the Lord did when he brought down Egypt and delivered Moses and the nation of Israel out of Egypt. Fear was sent through all of the nations. You know what I'm saying? The name of the Lord was proclaimed throughout the earth, and how he brought down ancient Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is going to do the same thing again for us in Babylon the Great. And that fear that was, sent throughout all of the nations in those times is going to be sent out again in these times. You know what I'm saying? Verse 3. "Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. And let them know thee, as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O Yahweh. Show new signs, and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation and power out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Make the time short. Remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works." Right? So the Lord is going to make this time short. Right? As Elder Apostle Tahar always says, once the MOTB is implemented, we really got a short time before, we receive salvation. We have a real short time in this place. You know what I'm saying? Once the mark of the beast is implemented and mandated, which is the microchip, it ain't gonna be too long. It's gonna be a short period of time before we get delivered from this place. Right? Verse 9. "Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rays of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we." Right? "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn." Right? And that's ultimately what the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to do. He's going to have mercy upon the nation of Israel, right? Starting with the elect, right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. This is all I got for